Comedian's wife just ruined his career. In parentheses, Akaash Singh. Now, I know most of you guys are not living under a rock, and if you've been on the internet for the past couple of days, Akaash Singh, the renowned comedian from the Flagrant podcast, has apparently been going through it because his wife just don't know when to keep her mouth shut. She has been saying all kinds of disrespectful things that a wife shouldn't be saying about her husband, and even if she claims it's a joke, these ain't jokes. These are kind of a slap in the face. But today we're going to be reacting to a video by Jamari, and let's see the whole scope of this situation.
So one of the hottest topics online recently has been a stand-up comedian named Akaash Singh and some comments that his wife has made about their life and their marriage. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Flagrant podcast starring Andrew Schulz and the man himself Akaash. And as far as digital media goes, comedy podcasts are not really my thing.
I've heard some legendary tipping, right? Like, you know, I remember I was hanging with Rogan once. He drops the car off. It's 100. Picks it up. It's 100.
Okay, that's aggressive.
Yeah.
He's responsible.
I guess
This podcast is not that funny to me. I used to watch it in its early stages, and I thought it was entertaining. But now it's just like you have Akaash laughing at every single thing, and it's just annoying. And it's not even stuff that's actually funny. Dude, you could just hear him faking laughs to please Andrew Schulz, because I don't know what it is, if this is a power play, but I think I saw a video recently, actually yesterday, where Akaash was on a podcast and he was talking to the person interviewing him, and he admitted to the person that he self-harms himself, and essentially when him and his wife gets into arguments, I think that's what he said, and also he said he does things to get validation from his wife, and it's like this constant pull. And that kind of makes sense, because now I'm realizing that Akaash is a people pleaser, hence why he be forcing laughs for Andrew Schulz and when he says nothing funny.
I just don't find either host to be particularly funny. I really think that Andrew got a career from swinging on Joe Rogan's nuts,
Nah, it was
and
from
then Akaash
Charlamagne.
in turn did the same with Andrew. You know, this guy is actually so unfunny as a comedian that I thought for sure he was like Lily Singh's long-lost brother or something like that, but it is simply not true. They actually do have two things in common though. For one, they both cannot take any sort of constructive criticism regarding their comedy.
I'm trying to power through the set, but when I'm done with my set and I see him doing this, that shit, there is no way your fucking left hand is more interesting than what we're doing up here for an hour.
And for two, they were both virgins deep into their 30s.
I'm sure I could get there, but I don't give off the vibe, I think, of the girls like, I gotta fuck that guy.
In fact, it's quite apparent that growing up, and even through his early adult life, that this man had zero confidence in himself, and never really got any attention from any girls.
So, in high school, it was because you said you didn't look good, and then after that, it was
I
village?
was hideous.
Well, you're not a hideous guy.
Hey, you haven't seen me in high school.
Well,
Short,
what
fat,
happened?
crooked teeth. I was just like a chipmunk, dude.
And I really do think that this is how he became a living doormat, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. And funny enough, the seeds of this expose of his home life were planted years ago, when Myron and Frogger from Fresh and Fit would go onto the Flagrant podcast, and
I guess we could say this is one of the rare times Fresh and Fit cut a W. I watched this, and this is, to be fair, this is when I was fans of theirs before they became so radicalized and so, you know, wild. Just go on Myron's Twitter and you'll understand what I mean by radicalized. I don't watch them. I haven't watched them in like years, maybe three years. I don't know. But I remember them going to this podcast, and I was, like I said, I was a fan, and I didn't even think they had their best showing on this podcast, because it didn't feel like they were getting out their points that they would normally get out on their podcast. I'm talking about the Fresh and Fit guys.
it was beyond clear that Akaash was not a fan of these guys by any means.
The way I look at it is, you know, you watch them you see them evolutionary charts from Neanderthal to Homo sapien. Yeah. Y'all are the first motherfucker out of Neanderthal.
And ever since this interaction, the two of them have had beef for years, and even the two podcasts in general have had issues with each other. And at first I would say it was a pretty even battle, with each respected fan base kind of riding for their guys. But lately Myron has been teabagging the shit.
Oh, he's taking a victory lap. And to be honest, what I personally feel about the aftermath, because Myron just started having an issue with them, I just thought it was because he ain't really get to say what he needed to say on the podcast, and he became that one kid that gets into an argument with their friends in school, and they go back home and they start getting mad that they forgot to say this and forgot to say that, and then they start, causing a problem. That's what I thought, but apparently there's some deeper things that went in, and I don't know what it was.
Akaash online. And it's really all been possible because of Akaash's wife, Jasleen, as she has pretty much given Myron all the ammo in the world. You see, Akaash made the mistake of trying to appear too perfect.
Yeah.
And every time he would open up his mouth about his wife, Jasleen, he would paint her as this beautiful, sexy, but also innocent, almost naive person. And on more than one occasion, he noted this story where they lost their V-cards to each other when she was in her early 20s.
Well, we know that was a lie.
He was in his late 30s.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual partners, so that helped us connect a lot more.
Let me ask you this: do you believe her?
If you've seen her, then it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I remember I was just like, what?
I mean, it's almost like the guy had a superiority complex over this V-card fun fact, when in reality, he was really just on some Steve Carell shit. And it's quite apparent that even in his newfound success, he was still deeply insecure from his adolescence. But either way, Akaash was still pretty well respected for years, and the problem really didn't start until his wife opened up her mouth. And at first, it was simply about the red pill community, and specifically Fresh and Fit.
So my husband actually interviewed these red pill guys on their podcast one time, and I won't mention their names because who the fuck even cares. But it was so funny because he actually called them out on their shit and their like stupid fucking beliefs and how they say that they're helping men when actually what they say is like really detrimental and damaging, especially to young impressionable men. Because he went at them, the red pill guys, like fans, were attacking him afterwards, found pictures of us, and because I'm like objectively attractive, they were saying that we couldn't possibly have got together in a natural kind of way or like in the wild, like it must have been an arranged marriage.
Now, the most ironic part about her call out is that she herself turned to making Fresh and Fit as content for women, where she embodies the idea that women...
You know what? That is true. I didn't even look at it that way. She is the opposite of the red pill, but she's just doing the exact same thing the red pill is doing for women. That's crazy. But, I never actually looked at it that way. She's an extreme feminist.
Women should be constantly treated like spoiled brats who need their every whim catered to by their husbands. In fact, it seems like all she really knows how to do is sit at home and spend
she don't
Akaash's
do
money.
nothing.
I mean, just listen to how she describes herself.
For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Jasleen. I'm a stay-at-home wife, but I don't cook or clean because I don't feel like it. And my husband is a full-time stand-up comedian, and he buys me lots of nice things.
And trust me, guys, after this, the clips only get much worse. It's almost like going from Weenie Hut Jr. straight to Hell's Inferno, as she totally comes off as an entitled gold digger when it comes to finances.
How do you and your husband split finances?
We don't.
We don't.
If you want to work, all for that. But like any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his account, that's a fucking red flag. His money is our money and my money is my money.
You see, that would be a fair statement if you were actually bringing value to the household. But if you are, identifying yourself as a stay-at-home wife that does not cook or clean or does anything, but you still get treated like a princess, I mean, you have no right and you have no standings to make that statement. And I'll say this off the rip. If Akaash is tolerating all of this, that's on him. I don't really know why people are so up in arms about this, because it just seems like he's a willful participant in this relationship. And it could be because he has some self-confidence issues. And like I said, I watched a video where he says he does stuff. He buys these expensive stuff. He does good things for his wife because he wants her to validate him. He said that before. So you could say maybe she's taking advantage of him, or because he's so weak-minded or has low self-confidence. It could be the case, but let it be known he is a willful participant in this relationship or marriage. So you can't feel too bad for him, because I think he understands the situation he's in.
Yes, that's very easy to say when you have no income.
That is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from day one.
Oh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Let's go ride a bike.
I also think all this is rage bait, to be fair.
Just like the best fucking parties, like living with your best friend.
Also, it's like there's
who buys you designer shit.
My wife is objectively gorgeous. Me, no. So that's what you got to do. I got to work my ass off, and then every time she starts looking at me and she starts assessing my beauty, I just throw a bag at that bitch. Chest pass!
And just look at her sheer reaction to Akaash surprising her with an upgraded wedding ring recently.
First of all, I want to say to Amma, happy birthday. All of this is possible because you told me I could do anything that I wanted.
With him also saying that he now wanted to renew their vows in India in front of their families. And just pay attention to what her main focus was in this clip.
Was the ring.
Ghislaine Singh, will you be Ghislaine Singh forever again?
Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! How big is this? Thank you so much!
Dang, hit him with a curve.
This is so...
Courtney Mustard. You were sitting in her lap.
Now clearly she was not moved by the rededication of their love to each other. Hell, she even dodged that poor motherfucker's kiss.
Marriage is much better for women. It literally starts with a man getting on his knees begging you. But is that enough? No. You also get an exquisite piece of jewelry. 3 paychecks, that's what she told me. 3 on a finger?
And I just know for a fact that she is the type of chick to require a blood diamond over a lab grown, all because she needs to walk around feeling supreme to other people. You know, she wants to feel that slave labor on her finger. And Akaash actually makes another fatal mistake here of encouraging her to have a TikTok and podcasting platform.
Who was your first girlfriend?
I had one in college.
Subject.
Now for him, this was really the beginning of the end, as she would start oversharing quickly.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. The top 4 songs when I came back for my sophomore year, Click, Pop That, Bands Make Her Dance, Birthday Cake, the 2 Chainz. I was popping my pussy and living my best life in these white boy frat house.
Remember, she was a virgin. You remember Akaash said they met and they were both virgins. I guess this kind of disproves that, so we know that was a lie.
And I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through. So it's
that is crazy.
And it's just hilarious because Akaash acted like he found this diamond in the rough, like she was some pure angel sent down from heaven, when it turns out she was the total opposite.
I was popping my pussy in these white boy frat houses.
I met this guy on Tinder. This was before Bumble or Hinge. This was in the OG days of the app. And this guy, I made the dumb mistake of letting him sleep over, not really wanting to fucking hook up. And I woke up in the morning and my asshole was a little sore. Oh my
God. That is crazy.
And I gotta say, for someone who is already years out of college, she sure does reminisce about it a lot. And it seems like most of her memories involve partying and other men.
So do me a favor, to all my brown girls who are starting college, you actually don't have to date the first guy that gives you attention. And when I got to college, I was like, oh my God, it's open season and all these guys are starting to give me attention and everyone's being so social.
Now where things would really explode for Neon's father though, is when his wife opens up her mouth about her best friend / podcast host.
Oh yeah, this was disrespectful.
And at first I thought she was actually talking about the pudgy rapper. But no, she is on this man's dick like no married woman I've ever seen.
Would y'all ever have an together with your husband?
Bria, I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so fucking good looking.
Imagine your wife goes on a public platform saying she wants to have sex with her best friend and her husband. Bro, what kind of disrespect? It couldn't be me. I wouldn't take that kind of disrespect. I'm just saying. How is this even normal? I understand that there's this idea of, let's just say whatever we want. And, if you're offended, then you're sensitive. So you now want to prove how anti-sensitive you are. So you just let anything go by. Bruh, that is your wife. That is your wife. I think you're fine telling your wife to keep her mouth shut about things like this. You're not going to be deemed as a bad person. It's okay. Tell her to stop talking. She should not be in front of a mic. What is that? Why would you say that? And her best friend's over there laughing because if you notice, she is not trying to do the same thing with her and Akaash. She's just like, yeah, let me revel in this attention because you love us too much. We're so attractive. But we ain't trying to do that with y'all. Y'all go over there because y'all weird.
And you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy.
That's crazy.
His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband.
Listen to me. You're my wife. You only got eyes for me. My body is banging. Everything you think attractive, it's me. Nobody else. Let's get that straight. All right? That's how it goes.
I just know that Nav's dick
Oh my
is
goodness.
like at least 10 inches.
Now, for me, all of these statements would be grounds for immediate divorce. And no, I'm not even joking. Like, never have I sat with one of my friends and said, damn, bro, your girl got a fat ass. She got some nice tits.
Them's fighting words.
That would just be so disrespectful that I would expect any one of my boys to slap the hell out of me for that. And obviously vice versa.
We're going to have a compound. Yes. And me, Nav, Nehal, and Akaash are going to be in two, like, adjoining houses. So that we could always be near each other.
And we're gonna have a connecting basement where we have dinner and movie nights and
Akaash is such a fucking king. Like, everyone knows he's the best husband, and I don't often find men that measure up to him. And like,
You mean the bank accounts don't measure up to his? That's what you mean. Let's be honest.
Nav completely measures up to him, if not more.
But for Akaash, this ends up being the worst part, as he willingly gets cucked for their audience of less than 1,000 subscribers. And the funniest part to me is that he shows up on the couch with the other husband, Nav, and I expected him to be like this jacked, badass, historically good-looking guy. And funny enough, he's really just like Akaash 2.0.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. He ain't really, I'm no homo, but like how she was describing him versus what is here is like, you might be exaggerating just a tiny bit.
He's like his cooler older brother.
A lot of bit.
Brother or some shit like that, body language and all. And at first, they just discuss their home life and the drama over their finances.
But when I tell my wife I'm tired, I want her to say, I'm sorry, baby. I understand. That must be exhausting, buying me all these things. Instead, she goes, so am I. And if I dare open my mouth to go, what the fuck did you do that makes you tired?
I went to Pilates.
It's been unspoken, but now we're just saying it now that we're both making content. If it's funny, we're good. That was clearly my wife trying to be funny, and watching everyone take it, because the idea that my wife, she's gonna start making so much, you guys are gonna make so much money. No. The idea that she would even go to the bank to try to open her own account, it's like laughable.
Bruh, nobody's listening to you. Nobody believes you what you're saying. Look, if you're in need of help, blink twice, all right? Like, we know you're not wearing the pants in the family. So if she want to do that, she's going to do that. And guess what? Ain't nothing you can do about it.
But quickly it is quite apparent that Akaash's wife cannot handle herself around the aura that is Nav.
I love you, but I actually love you in one of all.
That is crazy in front of your husband. And this dude's just sitting. You going to let her say that? And you couldn't be me. I personally wouldn't take that disrespect. He over there trying to laugh or smile, but he's really smiling through the pain.
I mean, just look at the eye contact between them and how awkward Akaash looks. I mean, she really almost slipped up and straight up said that she wanted to bang this guy.
Can I say this is the best husband I've ever seen? And I'm not even saying that hyperbolically. It's a little
again with the validation thing. It's all starting to make sense.
Annoying.
And other than the blatant cuckery, she makes it apparent that she is the most ungrateful wife to this guy. And as a matter of fact, she does not even want to celebrate his own birthday with him using his own money.
May the 4th is Akaash's birthday. And
May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
Yeah, and every year I dread it because I have to be nice.
She has to be
the whole
nice
day,
to
and I
her
have to get
husband.
him something.
Wow.
Listen, I'm just used to being treated like
That
a
is like
princess
the
all day,
worst
every
thing
day,
ever.
So that one day that I don't.
Oh, what torture.
Yeah.
And so, of course, she got a lot of backlash over this. I mean, even the most staunch feminist out here was saying, like, please do not make me defend a man. Obviously, Myron was out here roasting the shit out of them collectively, and this was their airhead response to all the attention that they've been garnering.
But I will say, our haters are kind of really fucking dumb because you hating on us gained me 15,000 followers. That's organic followers.
That's not organic, sweetheart. That's not how organic works. You got that amount of followers because of something viral happening. That is not organic. Organic growth is people finding your channel and by just searching or not looking, not setting out to look for your channel, but actually just found it and enjoyed your content and subscribed. That's how you get organic growth. You got growth based off of people just want to watch what you're going to say next. Trust me, if you're not talking the same talk, people are going to drop off. That's why you have channels that have 200K subs but can't average over 500 views. So that's not organic.
So it's like you're just giving us more relevancy. Like, we were literally a pop culture topic and like people couldn't stop talking about it.
Yes, your haters will totally make you famous. I'm sure they aren't just watching the house burn down from afar. And I feel like everyone has that dumbass friend who pauses them in the middle of a conversation to say, yo bro, this conversation's great, we should totally have a podcast, you and me.
Yeah.
You're right bro, everyone's gotta hear this. And I really think that that's how this stupid ass podcast started. Akaash, don't tell me you built that studio, my guy. I mean, straight up, they need to start giving out IQ tests before they will sell you a microphone. And I'm just saying, guys, like being someone whose job is online in the fashion that mine is, I would never date an influencer chick, or even a girl who has any sort of aspirations of online fame. It would just be way too big of a liability for reasons like this, and I definitely would not want someone who sits at home all day spending and solely relying on my income. But hey, I guess that's just the way I see it. You know, there has been this continued sense that like the Rogan sphere, and pretty much any comedian kind of revolving in its atmosphere, has kind of been like self-destructing in the last year. I mean, if you go to the Flagrant podcast right now, the comment section is a literal war zone where Akaash is getting destroyed. Dang. He's getting called a cuck. He's getting called a simp. I mean, someone take that motherfucker off the barbecue. He's done. He's cooked. But either way, I do want to thank you guys for watching today's video.
Gonna leave the video right there. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. Do y'all feel bad for Akaash, or do you think that, hey, if that's what you want, you get what you want, you get what you deserve? I just personally think that it's a little bit taking advantage of him because he is a person that did not grow up with a lot of self-confidence, so he is overcompensating for that self-confidence in a way, and I think she knows that, and she's, you know, taking advantage of that. But anyways, let me know what you guys thought about the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. God bless.